Well, it's time for Tech Talk. Welcome, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Washington, D.C. today with my co-host, Dr. Jay Greenstein. I'm Brad Cost. This is Tech Talk. Jay, it's that time
Brad.
again, man. We're talking again, buddy.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you doing today?
I am doing good, man. It's been a crazy week because, Brad, we launched what we're calling 2.0 to our patient base. So our second technology platform, and very excited to report nobody has died in the release. So it's progress.
Great.
Yes.
We've talked about that. We're going through getting ready to launch Infinity 3.0, but we're going to go to 2.5 as an in-between. 3.0, we're moving everything to the cloud and hopefully can process a little bit more efficiently with all of these outside databases and data lakes that we're trying to connect to, and a couple of projects we've got going on. So I'm excited about it. It's been a lot of freaking work on the side too, trying to keep everything else going and do the things that I need to do for it. So I'm excited, but I still got probably another year before we've got everything fully ready to roll out and launch. So
it just never ends, Brad. It just never ends.
Yeah.
There is no end point. It just keeps going.
There is not.
There's always another version.
Yeah, it's a great day here at Tech Talk, and I know we have great guests all the time. You are the source of many of those guests, and today we've got a great guest coming. I did not recognize the name at first, but talking to her a little bit prior to this episode, I did find out. I do remember her from our committee board members. When I've sat in for you as in a leadership role, I remember seeing her around on the committee, and I've been reading her. I've been reading her bio. I'm surprised we haven't met in person somewhere before, but why don't you take over and introduce our guest today? Let's get going.
All right. So it is my pleasure to introduce my very good friend, Dr. Keita Vanterpool. And Keita, you have lots of accolades. I'll just name a few. I mean, most of the audience probably knows you already, but you are currently the Vice President of FCLB. You are the past Director of NBCE. You are Chair of the DC Board of Chiropractic Examiners. You are a member of the ICA, also their alternate delegate, and a member of the ICA. And you're also a member of the ABCA, the American Black Chiropractic Association, and the Facebook Women's Chiropractic Group. Keita, I see you everywhere. Like all the important meetings, all the important events. You can count on seeing Keita there because she's doing her thing. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
We met, I don't even know how many years ago. God, so long ago. We're both in DC. Yeah. You've got a great practice in DC. You've been doing advocacy work in DC for a really long time, trying to move the needle for folks that really need our services that right now don't have access to it. And before we get into some of that important work that you're doing, Keita, just share with us a little bit about your story. Like, how did you become a chiropractor?
Wow, that's a good one. All right, so thanks for the introduction, by the way. And Brad, we've met a couple times. We just got to connect the dots. You'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 13, and I always knew I wanted to become a doctor. So throughout my years as a teenager, I got super ill, where I lost all my hair. I went into psychosis because of the medication I was taking. I almost lost the use of my legs, almost had them amputated. And I've also had a heart issue where I had pericarditis, where that was a huge issue for me at the time. And then I had a colostomy in high school. So literally I had a colostomy and was in a wheelchair at the same time. So you can imagine as a child or as a teenager, the mental and emotional stress that was involved with really trying to acclimate to being a teenager just itself.
Yeah,
typical. Yeah, so much so. So anyway, I prayed for death a couple of times because the pain was so severe. And I wished that I was dead, or I said, God, you either heal me or kill me because this ain't working for me. So I began visualizing myself walking again, running again. And I used to hum myself to sleep because the pain was so severe. And later I found out that humming is part of the frequency sound waves that actually promote healing. And visualization, didn't know about that as a kid, but I actually was using techniques that I used today with my patients to show them how to advance their healthcare promote their healing and move in the direction of wellness. And so I was practicing these things well before I even had knowledge of what these things actually meant. So long story short, God healed me. I was able to walk out the wheelchair, and I made October 31st my debut date to walk out of that wheelchair, and I actually did that. And so from that point on, in my sophomore year in college, my colostomy was reversed. So through all of that, I just thank God for the ability to be here today, just not take anything for granted. And I understand what bullying is like, people not being accepted. So I have a real low tolerance for people that exhibit bad behavior and calling them out when they need to be called out, and just really standing up for integrity, because that's really what we're here for, to show the love of God and really, spread love and health and wellness. And that's what I do. And so I decided to become a chiropractor because I didn't want children to go through what I went through as a child. And I said, well, I wanted to be a surgeon, but at a certain point I said, you know what? I'd rather be able to heal children naturally. And my mother put me on a really strong regimen of holistic food, organic food, herbs. She put me on a vegan diet. She juiced. So I'm really familiar with all those health, modalities that support and promote health and well-being. So I've used that as a child, and I continue to use that throughout my practice today. So we have Chiropractic Consulting, which is a health and wellness consulting. We focus on holistic healthcare. So that's why I became a chiropractor. I didn't want kids to go through what I went through. And I also wanted to also be a sports doctor, a pediatrician, and all these other things. And I could do all these things as a chiropractor. So it really fit my schedule. It fit my lifestyle. And I believe in philosophy. So that's why I became a chiropractor.
That's such a great story.
That
I
is.
love that story.
Thank you.
Where did you go to chiropractic school? Then how did you end up in DC?
So I went to Life Chiropractic College at the time, then Life University. And I was there, and I wanted to come back to DC. So after I graduated from undergrad, I volunteered with a chiropractor. Let me tell you how that happened with a chiropractor. So my sophomore year in college, we had this thing called the Science Enrichment Program. So I went over to Chapel Hill University, where we were learning with all these other students, either to become an allied professional or holistic professional, or either research. And so they had this health fair. And so this woman came down from Palmer College to talk about chiropractic. I'm like, whoa, I believe in that. I do that. I said, oh, okay, let me volunteer with a chiropractor when I go back to Elizabeth City State. So I came back from the program, went to volunteer with a chiropractor. He cracked my neck for the first time. I was like, OMG, my neck is broken. 3 days later, I kid you not, my range of motion was so good. I was like, whoa, this stuff really works. I was like, that's when I knew I was going to be a chiropractor. I said, this stuff really works. And so that's when I decided to become one. And so, like I said, I volunteered throughout the years. And then how I ended up at Life was because I liked the temperature down here. It wasn't too cold, wasn't too hot. So I went to Life University, graduated in 1997, and I stayed in Atlanta for longer than I anticipated. And that's another long story, because I fell into a deep depression because I didn't honor myself. And so I also understood and learned throughout life that if you don't honor yourself and what you're really you're meant to do and what you're meant to be, then you're gonna be down path B and everything that comes along with that until you get back on track. So I understand the concept of being true to yourself, who you really are, because no one can do you like you do you. And not being afraid to step into your being and step into you who are called to be. So I look at you, Jay, you can give a flip about what people say or think about you. I love your hair. I love your whole aura because you're being Jay. Brad, I love who you are because you're being Brad. Keita, I love who I'm being because I'm now stepping into who Keita is. And so unapologetically. And so I think when you're able to do that, you're able to really serve the world in a capacity that you're meant to serve, and make an impact that's far beyond what you can ever imagine.
That's good. That's just a great story, Jay. I'm sitting here watching her and mesmerized a little bit by her telling that story, because you can feel it. It is coming from her heart, man. I mean, it's this isn't just a line somebody's throwing out in front of them. You can tell she is passionate. It's coming from her heart, coming from her soul. So kudos to you, Keita. That's an amazing story of how you got started. And I'm sure it continues on through your adult life. And we're going to get into that in just a second. Let's take a quick break here and get this first commercial break out of place, and we'll be right back with our guest, Dr. Keita Vanterpool. My co-host, Dr. Jay Greenstein. I'm Brad Cost. This is Tech Talk. We'll be right back. We're out. That's
That
it.
was
That's
a
how it
fast
goes.
10 minutes. Oh my
That
God,
was 10 minutes
fast.
already? Wow.
That was 10 minutes, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. So we're gonna let Jay bring you back in, and or wait, since I didn't really say anything in that segment. Let me
Yeah,
bring you back
you
in.
should bring her back in.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me
Well,
bring you back in
okay.
and talk to you just a little bit about what are your number one passions today. I might mention the Medicare and let you talk a little bit about the Medicare project if you would like to do that.
Sure. That'd be great.
And we'll get started that way, and then Jay can jump back in, and we'll go in and out until we're finished another 9 minutes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Welcome back, Tech Talk. We've got a great guest today, Dr. Keita Vanterpool, a great longtime friend of Jay's. She said that I need to connect the dot, that we've met a couple of times. I got a lot of dots out there, and I'm 65 years old in 2 days. So, what can I say? I'm sure as we go along talking today, those dots will connect. But Keita, if I don't, next time we meet, come up to me, shake me, so we can have a real conversation. But you
Yeah.
really were telling some things that were coming from your heart, very passionate about doing that. And as Jay and I both, we both have been advocates across America for many different functions. But you mentioned a couple when we were first talking pre-program about some work that you did with Medicare. I'm assuming that's to be able to bring chiropractic services into Medicare. It's not readily acceptable. Matter of fact, I'm not sure there's anywhere that Medicare accepts chiropractic. But tell us a little bit about that journey, and then maybe just a couple of the other things that today you're super passionate about that you're out advocating for and trying to do.
Sure. And so, Brad, we have pictures of us together. But beside that, we're going to talk about the Medicaid. We'll talk about the Medicaid project. And you know what? It's all good. So it's about Medicaid and DC, Medicaid, not Medicare. So
Did I say Medicare?
You said Medicare, but
I'm
it's
sorry.
Medicaid. No worries. No
I'm
worries.
sorry, Medicaid.
It's all good. So about 15 years ago now, I would say about 2011, that's when I met Dr. Angela Salcido. And Angela introduced me to Jay Greenstein at a certain point. And as I was saying to you before, we created this team of experts. Jay was the real research guy. I was the one with the mouthpiece. And Angela was also the one with the savvy, the business savvy within the group. And so we would go to lobby the city council and the Department of Health, and we would have these discussions with these leaders about the efficacy of chiropractic and why we should be included in Medicaid reimbursement. And so we got a lot of pushback. And so for the last 11, 12 years, we've gone through city council, spoke to the mayor. We've done all kinds of things. And throughout our efforts, I'm not going to say it fell flat, but I would say that we caused them to question themselves of why they were not including us and why they were being discriminatory in their fee reimbursement or even inclusion. And so even though chiropractic is not fully accepted in Medicaid today, I was able to lobby to the individual managed care organizations here in Washington, D.C. And now we do have chiropractic accessible within AmeriHealth, Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield, MedStar, not so much yet for chiropractic care, but they do allow us to do physical therapy services. So while we're not Medicaid providers on the actual head of Medicaid, off the branches on the managed care organizations, the MCOs, we do have access to reach individuals as they have access to, they're able to reach us as well. So our work was not in vain. It was a long road. And I thank God for the opportunity. But, the funny thing was that Medicaid was never brought to the table. So David Catania was one of the healthcare chair at the time. And he asked me, I said, David, why is not Medicaid a chiropractic part of Medicaid? He was like, well, Keita, no one ever came to the table and asked.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so it's not all about discrimination. It's about if you're not at the table, right, then you're not going to have some lunch. You're not going to have any lunch.
Right.
So it's a matter of now when we even myself as an African American woman, being in a leadership position, in a leadership role, as you, Jay, as a Jewish male individual, we have a voice, and our backgrounds are different, our experiences are different, And I think everyone has a part to play in this big conglomerate of healthcare. And I think all voices need to be heard. So when you're able to have chiropractors at the table with medical doctors or orthopedic surgeons and neurologists and sociologists and behavioral health specialists and psychologists, now we're having a real conversation about how we can really move healthcare and move that needle towards really not just providing access to healthcare, but getting real good patient outcomes. And that's what I know Jay speaks a lot about. We talk a lot about how it's not about just the healthcare, but how we holistically help an individual reach better outcomes so that way they can take better care of themselves.
Right.
So,
Right.
so that's what we've done for the last, 12, 15 years. Yeah.
Well,
It's paid off.
I'm sorry for making that. In my head, I knew exactly what you were talking about, and I say
I know.
Medicare and Medicaid so many times a day. It's and I got to be. I have love for both programs exactly the same. Both of them are very frustrating things for me. But we've had a lot of Medicaid in the state of Texas where we were doing FQHC hospitals. And actually, I have a big passion for chiropractors doing social determinants of health. And I've talked in several of my lectures about that and actually built a tool to aid chiros in being able to pick up on the 21 categories of social determinants and just talk out there about what is going on, because it was a world that I was not super familiar with. And then our friend Chris Anderson came and said, you know what, he was on a guest, and he was actually a guest host a couple times, but Chris is actually doing social determinants of health in his state for a hospital, FQHC hospital there. He said it's greatly rewarding. And I give the example in class, how do you treat people in scenarios like that? Because you may be treating somebody in a social determinant that's going to go home and sleep in a cardboard box and not on a mattress. And you're going to treat them different. And chiros are perfect for that kind of scenario and advocating for those patients' rights. And so I am probably a big believer in what you guys were trying to do and the juxta of it. And I kudos to you for doing that. And it does sound like you won at least a few of the battles. You may not have won the war, but you at least got started and won a couple of battles.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention John Filardo and the ACA, because they've been huge, a huge proponent of support for us in our quest. And I look at Jay, myself, and Angela, and Dr. Salcido, and look, I'm the Black girl, Jay's a Jewish guy, and Angela's a Colombian.
Latina.
And so it's so freaking funny, because it's like we're like the what do you call it, the United Colors of Bennington. But like I said before, it's like, and then John, the white guy. So it's just so awesome that we all work really well together. And like I said, when you put these different minds together, there's nothing that we can't do. And then it becomes more of a colorful, how do you say? We begin to move with color and move with I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but we move with intention, and we move with the passion of all of our energies pulled together. And like I said before, our mission and goal is to do something really big within chiropractic. And as we're working with now, even with the future chiropractic, so many wonderful things are being done because of the collaborations with all the diverse groups that we have that are coming together now. So I'm super excited about chiropractic today and what we're going to be doing in the future forward.
Absolutely. And that evidence-based data that's out there is going to help lead the way for you. And to show, you guys have been making the mistakes in the past, not including chiropractic, because data is going to show it's one of the most cost-effective, conservative ways to treat patients safely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%.
All right. Listen, that 10 minutes went by again. It's real quick. It is time for another break. We're going to come back and find out just a little bit more about this amazing lady, Dr. Keita Vanterpool. My co-host, Dr. Jay Greenstein. I'm Brad Cost. It's Tech Talk. Come on back. And we're out.
All right.
20 minutes.
That's
Crazy.
super. This is super fun.
It goes fast. It
It
does.
does.
Right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Jay, why don't you
does.
bring us back and get into a little bit more of whatever you think she wants to. We gotta give you about 10 minutes, and we gotta be done and get you out of here.
Yeah.
So bring her back in, start that conversation, and if I can jump in at the end, I will do that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Bring us back in 3, Jay.
Am I speaking too fast, guys?
Nope.
No, you're doing great.
Okay, great.
What's up, everybody? It's Dr. J. I'm really excited because we have my very good friend, Dr. Keita Vanterpool, hanging out with my other very good friend, Mr. Brad Cost. And we're having a blast here talking to Keita about all things chiropractic, but also all things diversity. And Keita, I know that you're doing a lot of work in DE&I, and I think it's really important for our audience to hear, what your mission is and what you're looking to do moving forward, not only in 2023, but beyond, so tell us about that great work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again. So I've been tasked with, and I'm really passionate about the diversity, equity, and inclusion space. And what I mean by that is that chiropractic, as we know, is a predominantly white, male-dominated profession. And as we know now, over half the people who are graduating these chiropractic schools are women, which is a wonderful thing. But not only that, about 3% of all chiropractors make up the minority sector of the chiropractic profession. And so when we look at the leadership pool and who we have to draw from, the pool becomes even smaller than that. And so I myself, Dr. Salcido, Jay Greenstein, we're a few of the minorities that are actually in that 1% population, or 0.003%, that are up there in the leadership capacity. And so my goal is to see more minorities or minorities serve in these capacities, whether it's the education sector, whether it's testing, whether it's regulation, whether it's higher education, whatever it is, to see a lot of more minorities up there in these spaces. And so leadership development is one of those ways how we can do that. And what I mean by that is when we see that are others like us or not like us, women, whether they're young, and like I said, diversity for me means so many things. It's not just color, black and white. Diversity means your socioeconomic status. Diversity means your past experiences. Diversity means your origin, your background, your educational status. Diversity means your age, your sex, gender. All these things for me make up the diversity pool. And so when a lot of times when we hear the word diversity, a lot of us go, they want to pull the brakes because they're thinking, oh, you're talking this black thing again, this white thing again, we're really not. And so it's all inclusive of all these things and many more. And so my goal is to be a mentor to those that are behind me that seek to do leadership or seek to be in a higher capacity within leadership roles, and allow them to see that there's someone like me up there in those spaces too, and I can do that too. Because a lot of us don't know. Like I said before, if you don't ask questions, you're not going to find out any answers. And I've always been pretty assertive myself, honestly. And so if I want something, I go get it. I don't wait for someone to tell me you can do this and you can do that, because I give myself permission. Just like you don't need anyone to give you permission to do what you need to do as an adult, because we're here for a certain purpose and reason. And why allow someone else to pull you down because they want to raise themselves up? That's not acceptable behavior. And so I think that, again, when you talk about leadership, we should all be working towards the same common goal within chiropractic. And what is that? To spread chiropractic throughout the world. And we cannot do that if we're pulling people down with this crab in the barrel mentality, and or feeling intimidated by someone because they don't look like you or act like you. So I think it's really imperative that we be our individual selves and really unapologetically and respectfully move in a way that's going to help promote chiropractic, whether you're black, white, 15, 35, 68, 100 years old. I don't give a hoot. Our goal here is to make sure chiropractic is spread and that everyone has access to our care.
Amen.
Keita, that's a great statement in my eyes. The world has become a little upside down, right side up, left, right, sort of screwed up in the last 2 or 3 years. But the one thing that's come out of it, it's made people think about diversity. It is. Even myself in my own business, I never thought I had shaded eyes in any aspect of diversity or inclusion, because I love all people. But the world's had to think about it the last few years, and it's odd how some of the conversations have gone way, way too far, way over bounds, and we've ended up making enemies of each other in many ways instead of becoming friends the way that it should be. And more inclusive of everything. So I give you great kudos for doing that. And at the same time, I want to ask a question. Are there some barriers? I never thought about this. Are there barriers for minorities getting into chiropractic college today? Or is there just not enough awareness or desire on minorities to join that? Is there activities going on to change that?
I will say this to you: when I became when I made a decision to go to chiropractic school, no one talked to me about chiropractic. I never knew about chiropractic,
Yeah.
what it was. I couldn't even say chiropractic was influential in helping me get better with lupus because I can't. But and no one, if I had never went away to that program at Chapel Hill, I would have never knew about chiropractic.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking that when you look at the high schools that are all around the nation, and these career developers are speaking to their students, are they really having a conversation? Whether they're black or white, it really doesn't matter. Because if you're in a white neighborhood and they're not talking about chiropractic, it's the same thing. But again, when you look at these smaller towns that are predominantly white or that have few black people in them, we're not talking about chiropractic. So I think it's more less getting education on the bottom end, talking about it in high school, in our career fairs, talking about it at our colleges, and that will get the word out as well. And I don't know how many recruiters are out there that are promoting chiropractic, but I know Parker College has a larger pool of African Americans and minorities, and Life University probably have the most minorities at this point. And so I know where chiropractic, the word about chiropractic is getting out. And so, and when I came to school, there were maybe like 10 African Americans and mixed with Africans in our class, and a few Hispanics in our class. And we had the largest class that had come in from that time. And after my class, there was more that was coming into the school, into the profession. And so I think right now, honestly, the people are becoming more aware of it, of chiropractic. And people are changing their minds about being a physical therapist to become a chiropractor or a kinesiologist, because they're finding that they can do all these things and then more within our profession and make a greater impact. So I think it starts on a ground level, because again, if you don't have a pool of people that are coming into the schools, then that really decreases the opportunities for minorities to be in leadership positions as well.
And that's a great opportunity for every small town chiropractor to do, is get involved at that time of the year in the high school when they're talking about graduating and vocation and those kind of things.
Yep.
I mean, Jay, we ask that of every guest that comes on the show. What made you interested in chiropractor? What made you become a chiropractor? And it's always one of two things, I believe. One, I had an accident when I was a kid, or my grandpa was a chiropractor, or my dad was a chiropractor.
Right.
You're not gonna hear it from our community. not my grandpa anyway.
Yeah. So, but again, that
Not
just
yet,
means
Not yet. Right. Not yet. Right.
that just means that people need to be exposed more to it, especially at that time when they're deciding what they're going to do after high school. And that's probably a great opportunity there's probably a big enough pool out there of local chiros that could step in and do a great job doing that, and they need to do that. And that's really what, to me, it sounds like the message needs to be, is we need to round up these guys so they're talking at the high schools. And that would be a simple thing to do, to contribute 2 hours once a year to do that and change the profession in that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Keita, I know I'm going to see you in a few weeks.
Yes.
Brad, I hope I'm going to see you too. Did you
Are
make
you going
the
to Parker?
flights?
Yeah, I'm coming down Thursday afternoon, and I will come back Saturday morning. I've got another commitment that week. That's why I didn't do it. But you and Christy made me feel really bad the other day.
Jewish guilt, baby. Jewish guilt. Jewish and Southern guilt. It works.
I'm going to come and help you guys spread the word about the consortium, and see Katie and some of my other buddies there, and just use it as a social experiment this year. Yep. I haven't been to Parker as an exhibitor in many, many years. I didn't have great first 2 or 3 time experience there, but I know so many people today in the profession. Next year, I'm going to make the commitment, get back and exhibit there next year.
That's
I'll
great.
be there.
I'll tell you what, Bill Morgan has done a tremendous job to look at the speakers that are on the docket this year, and really for the last several years is just awesome. I mean, I cannot wait to see Jim Quick, Angela Duckworth, just some great speakers. So very, very, very exciting. Keita, I know I'm going to see you there. Angela's
Absolutely.
coming.
Absolutely.
She called me and she said that you guys are going to be there, which
Yes.
is awesome. When do you guys get in?
Wednesday.
Okay, me too. So
Yeah.
we'll figure out a way to connect for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
Where else are you going to go this year? What else you got on the docket?
So on the docket we have Parker. Then we have I'm a panelist for the Black History program that Dr. Michaela Edwards she's the past president of the American Black Chiropractic Association. So I'll be doing a talk on that next month coming for Black History Month. And then I'll be doing the Women Chiropractic group down in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I probably have a few more in between there somewhere. So I plan to go to the school. So I really want to talk about regulation, the introduction to regulation, because as a regulator, a lot of people don't know what we do, why we do it, and how we can really increase access to that space as well. So I'll be doing a lot more regulatory speaking this year, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and some other things I'll be doing. So I'm excited about this whole new year that's coming ahead of us.
Well, you are a rock star. We love you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for all you do. I feel
Thank
blessed
you.
to have you as a friend, and I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.
Well, Keita, for me, again, thank you for spending this last 30, 40 minutes with us for this podcast. Everybody will be wanting to hear this. And thank you for all the things that you do in the profession. And again, I am really at a loss when you mentioned the picture a while ago that we've been in a picture together.
I'm going to send it to Jay. He's going to send it to
I'll
you.
send it to you. Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's anything that I can ever do for you, help you organize data, look at something, look at a project, I'd be glad to do that for you. You are driven by passion. That's one of my favorite kind of people. And anything that I can do to help you, I will do that.
I appreciate you, Brad. Appreciate you, Jay. Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate you, girl.
From my co-host, Dr. Jay Greenstein, I'm Brad Cost. Have a good day.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Keita.
Wow,
Listen,
that was awesome, Keita. You did
Thank
great.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank